Let's bring in our next guest, Loopy from BBOs.
All right.
Hello, Loopy. How are you?
I'm fine, Chuck. How are you?
Oh, yes. You're here to promote something, and what is it that you're here to promote, Loopy?
We are here to promote our Pamper Caregivers Night for the Alzheimer's Memory Center, and I brought with me today Dr. Marcy Johnson.
Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to
now,
be here.
We're talking Alzheimer's. Is that what we're doing? Are you an Alzheimer's specialist?
I could say I am, yes.
Okay. There's people that know a lot about Alzheimer's in the community. There's people that don't know hardly anything about Alzheimer's.
Sure.
And there's people that think Alzheimer's is one thing when it's actually something else.
That's a good example, right? Yeah.
Right. Tell the people what Alzheimer's is, please.
In a nutshell, Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative process of the brain that shrinks the brain, and there are a certain set of symptoms that people have: problems with memory, problems with judgment, knowing kind of where they are in the world. You'll hear people getting lost while driving. And the difference between Alzheimer's disease and dementia, because those are interchangeable terms oftentimes in the community, dementia is kind of the broad umbrella term of a variety of different symptoms. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type of dementia. There are many different types of dementia. So,
what causes it, doctor?
It is a disease. It's a disease process in the body.
Hereditary disease?
There is a percentage of the population that is a hereditary disease. The more concerning hereditary disease cases are those that are younger in their 40s, and it's kind of a family, a bloodline that has the disease, and the symptoms often very earlier in life.
Can you avoid getting it?
No.
You can't, can you?
The best thing we have actually is not medication, but the best thing we have is being engaged in life, being social, being active, exercising, having a purpose and meaning in life. That really helps one kind of progress rather better than if you didn't have those things in place.
I've heard that certain metals that you ingest can get into your brain and cause Alzheimer's. Is that a internet folklore?
There's a lot of various things like that out in the world. Vitamin E, different coconut oil.
You hear vitamin E is good for all kinds of stuff.
Well, I think the best thing that we can say is everything in moderation, and the best types of vitamins should come in whole food sources.
Real vitamins.
Real vitamins.
Not out of a bottle.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, what are some early signs of Alzheimer's that people could look for?
I would say the most warning signs would be problems with memory, and we're not just talking about putting keys one place and not being able to find them or finding them
because that means
later.
that I have it now, right?
But it really is the memory is starting to really affect your daily life. So you're getting lost while driving.
Should a person be driving at that point?
I would say not. That's a big controversy. And at the UCSF Alzheimer and Memory Center, it is a state law. If a person is diagnosed with dementia, we do have to report that to the Department of Health, who reports it to the DMV. Driving is a big issue, and it should be kind of talked more and more about out in the world. But often, more than not, it is about safety. Kind of safety trumps all. And driving, there's a lot involved with driving. We kind of take driving for granted. So.
This is a sad disease.
It's very hard.
It's sad to watch. It's so hard on the families.
And it takes a community.
And it's just, when the brain goes, it doesn't necessarily mean that the body's going.
True.
These people aren't immobile.
True.
And like you said, safety first, and so their decision makings about safety things it's scary.
Yeah, that's why I would say, not just because I love the work that our center does, we're one of 10 Alzheimer's disease centers of excellence in the state of California associated with a top medical school, and so we give a comprehensive diagnosis with a neurologist, a geriatrician, neuropsychologist, and a social worker. So it's a very comprehensive process with the goal of coming alongside the primary primary care physicians and helping them with the plan and treatment, and coming alongside the family. The family really needs a plan. They need education, as well as the patient. But it takes, a group of specialists.
So you can't prevent it, but once you know they have it, you can treat it?
Yes. So, I think what I'm trying to say is that earlier the better. If we can get a diagnosis, 50% of cases out there are not diagnosed. So, and we have 5 million people in this country right now that are suffering from this disease. Every 60 to 68 seconds, someone is. So earlier the better, because we can help with the plan.
So people with Alzheimer's are sitting at home, and their friends and family are thinking that, hey, they're just getting old and nuts.
Right. It's a
right?
very common.
Senile.
Sure.
Or something. But it's actually Alzheimer's setting in.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on,
It could be.
It could be. And so I think the most important thing that we could say about that is people need help. They need to get into their primary care physician or their whoever they trust and talk about that and start thinking about a plan.
What about the family members? Because I think that the Alzheimer patient is not going to want to think that they have Alzheimer's, right?
Sure.
So the family members living with them possibly are seeing some strange things happening, and then you have to stop and say, well, what's best for this family member that I love? What can I do for them? And it's, oh God, it's got to be just horrible.
Well, it is, Chuck. It's horrible. It's a sad thing, but you know what? When you love someone, you will do whatever you need to do to take care of that person. And I mean, we've done a lot, taking care of our loved one, making sure she gets to the doctor, making sure that she stays on a routine, that she gets out. And you know that we really put her out there. Everybody knows who she is. They love her every time they come and visit her at the store. They're giving her love.
No matter what language they speak.
No matter what it is, you know how she is.
Well, I think you said a very important thing. This disease is a different language. It's
Yes.
about learning a whole new language with your loved one, and it takes, people that can help with education. It takes loving, caring family members to come alongside. It takes a community that respects this disease. We don't want to talk about it yet. We don't really want to do much about it yet, but we are working towards that and kind of dispelling the stigma.
The other thing is trying to get the whole family on board and understanding and accepting it instead of being in denial. It's okay, but it's not okay, because then it makes it harder.
With your mother and your father, I mean, you don't want to see them get old. I look at my mother. My mother's real close to 7. She's 69 years old right now. And to me, when I look at her, I still see her as my mommy.
Sure.
I don't see her as an older lady. I still see her as my mom.
Yeah.
I remember her that way, still to this day. So, this whole thing just, it hits home with me in so many different ways. You guys are putting on a benefit for that. So let's talk about that.
We're doing this Pamper Caregivers Night. So on Friday, November the 21st from 6 to 10 at the Hampton Inn off the 41 and
Bullard, right?
Herndon.
Okay.
We'll be doing a Pamper Caregivers Night, so that means we're putting this on for our caregivers, not for our loved ones, but for our caregivers, so they can go and get some pampering, because they need care just as much as our loved ones.
It's a 24-hour-a-day deal.
It is.
So a little bit of a break, a little bit of pampering is going to go a long way with these people, isn't it?
So they can come and get some free pictures taken. They can do some Christmas shopping. They can mingle with other caregivers. They can swap ideas. And you know what? There's also a support group that's very, very helpful. That's my second family. Going to those support group meetings, they have helped me a lot. Otherwise, I don't think
help you understand, Loopy? Other people's
there's other
what they're experiencing.
Yes. Right. I might be having a difficult time, but somebody else might be having something a little bit more difficult, and we can swap ideas, how we get around it, how we work together, and we become a family. Because you know what? I know you don't want to hear the same thing over and over and over and over. And you want to go,
okay.
So going there, the 3 times a month, the second and fourth Saturdays of every month, and the third Wednesday of the month we go, and we just go there and we talk, and we can just like let loose and kind of, it's like a bitching session. You can just go and say whatever you want to say, and nobody.
Do you feel like a release after that, like a burden kind of lifted off you a little bit?
Yes.
Just being able to talk about it with others who are going through the same thing.
Right. It's such a relief, because when you leave, you're like, oh my God, I'm glad I got that out, and instead of you holding it in, because it does make you sick.
Because it's frustrating, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, like I said, it's a 24-hour day job, but sometimes some hours are a lot more difficult than the others.
Oh, yes, and especially if you get them out of their routine and they're not, it's a bad day for them, then it's going to be a bad day for you. So you need to keep them steady, keep them on that routine, keep them busy, keep them going. That way it's easier for you. Make sure that, that they're being out there active, especially if there's somebody that's already been used to being social.
Right.
We have our little social
butterfly, right?
So,
now, doctor, what kind of things do you do to keep a person that's in the early stages of Alzheimer's maybe not progressing so fast? You mentioned keeping them in the public and keeping their brains moving. Is that the key?
Sure. Luby did a phenomenal thing by having her mom come with her to her store and giving her tasks that she can handle, and it was just kind of about greeting the public and kind of being the social butterfly that she's used to.
Right.
So you really want to think about the person as that person. What has that person enjoyed in their life, and how we can continue that, maybe at a kind of a little more limited level. But
are you kidding? Yeah. I'll take Mama O at the door any day over Marty O. Yeah, that's a greeter deluxe right there, Mama O.
So,
all right, it's Friday, November 21st at the Hampton Inn. It's a Pamper. For the caregivers, a Pamper night for the caregivers of people with Alzheimer's. That's really sweet.
And it's free. I've had people calling me and saying, how much is it? What's the fee? How can I get my tickets? And I tell everybody, it's free. Come enjoy yourself. If you want to bring your loved ones, that's even good, because they also need to get out. So we want everybody to come. We have a lot of good things that are, a lot of beautiful pieces that we're going to auction off. We even have summer home to Cambria, that's for 3 days, so that'll be on the auction. There's a lot of good things coming in, jewelry.
Is this the Friday after Thanksgiving?
Friday the 21st.
Or before.
So that's the Friday before. So it's actually the Friday before the Friday of Black Friday. So
okay. All right, Doctor, thank you very much for coming by. It's great talking with you.
Thank you so much.
Luby, it's always good to see you.
Chuck.
You say hello to Mama O for me, please.
Thank you.
Or we can just say it right now, can't we? Hello,
Hi,
Mama O. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back on The Buzz. Stick around.